I always tell people before you get online, get offline. Because a lot of people think that the secret to their sauce is technology. And before you even use the technology, it's like a car, right? You got to get in and you got to know how to drive it. It's not just going to drive you to success, right?
No.
So you got to get offline and you really have to think about three things. For me, those three things: your best, your base, and your box. I was about to say business, but it's all comprised on building your best business, right? So what hopefully we get to do today is I get to provide some of the people in your circle with some clarity around those three things when it comes to jumpstarting your business. Because if you don't have clarity, if you don't sit down, write down, get clear, nothing that you do online is going to bring the kind of fruits that you want of your labor, right? It's going to be a whole bunch of busy work, shiny object, overspending, and underperforming. And how many people do we know who overspend online and underperform because they are not in control? They're not in their lane, right? So that's essentially it for me. Those three core places, those three that hopefully we get to talk about today.
Welcome to the $1 Million Equation Podcast, a podcast about the easiest, fastest way to build $1 million business based on the best-selling book, The $1 Million Equation. If you love business, each episode reveals all of the core fundamental essentials for growth. Now, here's your host, Richelle Shaw.
Yay! So today is a really special day for me because, oh gosh, back when I first decided to go online and start speaking and to have an online business, I Googled all of these different things. And everything I Googled, this woman kept popping up in the Google, right? I'm like, what in the world? She just has stuff everywhere. And when How to Build $1 Million Business, the Jackpot book came out, I had hired a virtual gal that was going around and talking to all these people to get interviews for me. And I said, well, you know what? I need a banner. I need this. And she said, well, you know who I got the banner from? And I said, who? And she goes, LaShandra Henry. And I'm like, what? I've been trying to connect with her. Wait a minute. Do you have her number? Give me her number. So I had to go through three other people, but I finally got the number, finally got to talk to this amazing woman who is crushing it online. She's got over 100,000, 150,000 collectively over platforms. Her biggest platform is Facebook that she's just, hands down. She is a content-driven machine, but I think that comes from having a degree from Columbia, right? I mean, she's probably one of the smartest people I know. When I need a boost, when I need a coach, when I need to just bounce ideas, she's probably in the top 5 that I ever call. But always we get a 5-hour session. So today's going to be hard to get it down to 30 minutes, 30 to 45 minutes, but I'm going to try my best. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, my business bestie, LaShandra Henry. Yay!
Yes! Super excited to be here. Thank you so much, my dear.
Yes. I mean, she runs Black Business Women Online, Sister Sense. I mean, there's 1,000. She little business books for little kids. It's not little. It's like a whole business. She has T-shirt lines. Tell everybody what you do, because it exhausts me.
Well, you know, the foundation of me is Sister Sense, where I help entrepreneurs make sense of making money online. And for those of you watching, hopefully I am right on time. I love everything that Richelle does when it comes to entrepreneurship. You know what? At the end of the day, you want to make sure that when you're smart, not only can you pour out to people, but you got folks pouring into you. And Richelle is one of those people for me. So when she says business bestie, for real, like business bestie for life.
For life. Tell them about all the stuff that you do.
Sure. I mean, outside of helping and mentoring entrepreneurs as far as teaching them what they need to do around money, marketing, and sales, I am a web designer. So you talked about banners, building graphics for people, doing websites for people. Love kids, so I'm very pro creating positive content for people of color. You mentioned that bright colors, the Black moms Club, the BBW Network for Women Entrepreneurs. I have a network for writers. Basically, I'm kind of that Jackie of all trades. If I like it, I make money off of it. That's essentially that's the key, right? Tap into as many revenue streams as you can so you can turn all the things that you believe to be your purpose into profit. So, I mean, I could go on and on and on, but those are just a few of the things that I love to do as a purpose-driven entrepreneurial woman.
Yes. You see why I love her? You see why? Because I'm like, purpose. Look, did it make money? It don't make money, it don't make sense. That was my thing, but she's like, oh, I have a purpose, and really helped me process those things, and get into where now I only do things that I love, period. If I don't like it, I ain't doing it. I don't care how much money that it comes in. But let's show everybody how brilliant you are. And let's talk about, what do you think is truly the biggest problems that entrepreneurs have? Like, what do you think they are?
I'm going to say, it's interesting that you asked that question. When I get emails, direct messages, all this stuff from people, the biggest thing is, where do I start? They know they want to make money. They know they want to get off their job. They know they want to live in their purpose. Where do I start? So being in a place where they can take all of those ideas that are floating in their head and literally jumpstart their business, move forward with their vision. I would say 9 times out of 10, it doesn't matter what industry, if they're starting from scratch, coming from the corporate, trying to go digital, where do I start my business? That's what people struggle with the most.
So then how do you answer? If that's the question that you get, because I get that too. And I'm like, ooh, I'm not the person for you. You know what I mean?
You're ready for that $1 million, folks. Extra zeros on the end.
Right. It's just that I and I had to figure this out, because I got a lot of people who just wanted to be me, right? And that's what they would say. I want to do what you're doing. I'm like, well, but you can't really, because you've never owned a telephone business. You've never done the things that I've done. So how about we start with, who you are, and then leverage that piece. So that's why I just I refer them out to somebody else. I'm like, come after you've got it established. Sell 2 people. That's what I tell them. And then they normally go sit down because they're scared of sales. Is that not the truth, right? They're scared of selling something. And I'm like, okay, so that normally has them go away. But what's your answer? How do you communicate with them?
Well, for me, I always tell people, before you get online, get offline. Because a lot of people think that the secret to their sauce is technology. And before you even use the technology, it's like a car, right? You got to get in and you got to know how to drive it. It's not just going to drive you to success, right?
No.
So you got to get offline, and you really have to think about 3 things. For me, those 3 things: your best, your base, and your box. I was about to say business, but it's all comprised on building your best business, right? So what hopefully we get to do today is I get to provide some of the people in your circle with some clarity around those 3 things when it comes to jumpstarting your business. Because if you don't have clarity, if you don't sit down, write down, get clear, nothing that you do online is going to bring the kind of fruits that you want of your labor, right? It's going to be a whole bunch of busy work, shiny object, overspending, and underperforming. And how many people do we know who overspend online and underperform because they are not in control? They're not in their lane, right? So that's essentially it for me. Those 3 core places, those 3 that hopefully we get to talk about today.
Yeah. Well, of course, right? Now that I know it, of course. I don't care what I was going to talk about before I read my notes. This is what we're going to talk about, because I think that so many are unclear and they're not really sure. But all I know is I want what you have, right? And I said, well, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. And I get them. They'll get on my list. I'll send out an email, and they will copy the exact email and send it to their folks. And then say things as like, her stuff doesn't work. Well, it's because you don't know why. You don't know why.
Right.
You don't know why I said
Right.
that. I said the things that I said. We used to laugh all the time. I used to be a really crazy cusser, when I would speak. And that was just my shit, right? You remember that? And that was just my thing. It was I came from a stand-up lane, and so I was a cusser. And people would try to emulate the way that I talk. And they go, "Ooh," they're customers. It didn't really work.
You gotta find your own voice.
Yes, you can't be anybody else. But tell me, so what is in these 3 B's? Because I love your alliteration all the time. You always have such great names for things. What's in the 3 B's? What are they?
Okay, so let's start with the first one, which is your best. And at the end of the day, in order for you to make money online, you have to actually have stuff to sell. So the first thing that you got to be able to do is to identify your best sellers, the things that are going to work, that are going to allow you to actually make profit. Now, for me, you talk about the B's, actually they're connected. So we've got superpowers, number 1. Yeah. We have your super fans, number 2, okay? And then we have, let me make sure that I give it to you correctly. We've got your super offers, okay? So your super fans, your super offers, and your superpowers. We all have superpowers. I know that I can get on the phone with clients and I can provide them with clarity, so they pay me lots of money to do that, right? We all have superpowers. I know that I can make people beautiful websites. They pay me a lot of money to do that. If you can really identify your superpowers, you can make money. Right? So your best is comprised of that, number 1. Number 2, super offers, the shit that people actually want to buy. What's in demand in your industry, right? Sell what sells. Folks always want to be cute, especially the ladies. We like our red bottoms, we like our cute tops. When it comes to selling, you don't want to be cute. You want to be clear, you want to be concise, so you can collect those coins, right?
We don't want to be cute. We want to be clear and concise.
So you can collect them damn coins. So you got to have super offers. What in your industry are people putting out there and they're making money hand over fist, right? So that's number 2, right? And then you have your super fans, like your beehive. Whatever you do, they go out and they spend as much as they can spend to get. Because, it's funny, I was on the phone with the client today. I do clarity calls with my clients, and she said, one of the best things that you told me was to stop just simply trying to sell to other people. Now I'm selling more to people that are in my circle, and I'm making more money from my super fans. Not only will they consistently buy from you, but they will tell you what the hell to create next. They'll be like, well, do you have this? When are you coming out with that? And there's always a crazy stream of money. There's, a lot of people go, man, I'm broke. My funds is funny. I got a money problem. Honey, you don't have a money problem. You have an idea problem. You don't know what your next best offer is because you're not focused on the supers. Your superpowers, your super offers in your industry, and your super fans. 1, 2, 3. That, for me, that's what comes with the best.
Yeah, well, Tony Robbins said it best. He said, you don't have a lack of resources. You have a lack of resourcefulness. You not being right. Well, we do that. That's why they don't allow us to go into movie theaters, because that's how we do, right? But when he said resourcefulness, I said, oh, that's so true. And Dan Kennedy, everybody knows that was my favorite for years, and he would say, if you can't make money without money, that when you get some, you're not going to be able to make any money either, because you're going to screw it up. You should be able to, right this moment, right today, put a package together and sell it. And if you can't do that, you're never going to be able to sell it online. I don't care because sales is the same. Whether it's offline or online, you still have to communicate the value and make people want to have it, right? It's like, even
compelling offers.
The compelling, right? Compelling is, not, it's 106 degrees and I will give you ice. That's not compelling, because that's just, I just want it, right? It's like, it's not going to be hard to sell that. It is when you are in Alaska and it is 42 degrees and people are buying your ice. That means that you've created a super compelling offer. Right? That's when you know, right? It's not a need thing. I mean, it's a want thing. You see, a need thing is people do what they need. Sometimes they do it. Not all the time. Not all the time. You know, this,
Right.
I shouldn't say this, but here's the deal, okay? Because we all know I say shit that I probably shouldn't say. But I don't hand money to beggars on the street. Okay? I realize that there is a homelessness problem. I realize that people are down on their luck. And I realize that I've been in a spot where I just needed a handout. Here's what I also know, that there are multiple places for them to go where they can sleep every night. Now they have to be there early because it fills up, but there are things for them to do. There are places that feed every day. This is happening. So what I do is I give them the list of those. Here you go, because this is going to solve your problem. My $2 is not going to solve this for you today. It's not going to fix this. But what will fix it, so that's what I'm in the business of solving problems. And that's what, until you understand, that's what makes a compelling offer, is because I'm solving your problem. Yes, it can solve your problem if I'm going to give you ice and it's 106 degrees outside. Yeah, but when the ice melts, okay, do you still need it? Do you still need it? So I really like to make sure that I can, when I'm writing copy, I can sell to someone who does not need it right now. Because
and that's some of the secrets of the sauce of creating the best, right? Your best offers are the things that are going to be consistent and the things that are going to be compelling, whether honestly people believe they need them or not. That compelling, oh my God, I call them FIOs, freaking irresistible offers. They, oh my God, you know, whether you're doing it virtually, online, offline, from a stage, over the phone, they just want it. They want it before you even sell it. They're like, okay, stop talking. Which just, how do I buy? That kind of feeling.
Right. Where's the link? Where is it? And if that's not happening, then your message isn't correct, right? If that's not happening, then your message is wrong. So you need to figure that out so that you can fix the message. Because if you don't fix the message, you're never, ever, ever going to sell it. And I don't care, that's how I identified best offers.
Thank you so much for listening to my passion project and the $1 Million Equation podcast. Love what you're hearing? If you like it, I love it. So click the subscribe button to get each week your new favorite episode.
I should probably ask you, how do you identify a best offer?
Well, one of the things I like to say to folks is there's a difference between the feel good and the real good. A lot of us go into entrepreneurship for healing purposes, right? And we create what feels good to us, right? But that doesn't necessarily mean that's your best offer, right? Those freaking irresistible offers, those things that people really want from you, that's what's telling, right? If people are ready to buy from you. I mean, sometimes I'm talking and people go, wait, is there a place that I can buy what you're talking about? Like, I didn't even say it yet, right? So for me, it's not about simply the feel good, or people are, saying that I'm doing nice stuff. It's the stuff that's profitable, that's allowing you to live in your purpose and have the freedom and flexibility to do what you need to do for yourself and for your family. That's a best offer that you can sell now, and then you can sell 5 years and 10 years from now, and it still makes you money.
Yeah. One of the mistakes that I watch folks make is that when you set in their industry, what's selling in their industry, is that they start selling something that they know nothing about.
Yeah.
And they get caught up in, people ask them questions about it and they can't go deeper, right? How do you feel about that? If you identify in your industry that here's, right now, let's say online marketing, Facebook ads are working, right? Okay, well, so that's what I want to sell. How do you feel about that? About doing, just selling what's selling instead of forgetting, what their best is, right? So what's your answer to that? I think I know it, but what do you say?
Well, I mean, there are a lot of things that go into that, right? So I will tell people no, I'm not giving you anything on Facebook ads because that's not my area. That's not what I've mastered. You can go to XYZ person for that. I don't do the trends. I do what I do well, right? Don't just sell what sells because you think people are making money from it and you want to fleece people. You and I both, we have clients who have worked with us well over a decade. That just doesn't happen by magic. That happens through mastery, right? So you really focus on what you're good at. And for me, you know, the first thing I talked about was your best. The next thing is your base. Identifying for yourself your customer base and what they need. Because different people are going to come to you and they're going to need different things. And if you know, really and truly, if you know you have a nice base, you never have to trick yourself out for the trends. You know what I mean? You never have to be like, well, everybody else is selling Facebook ads, so let me do that. When you know your base. Yeah. Your base is, and I've broken it down into, I like to do these because it's easy for me to remember and easy to share. When you think about your customer base, DIY, who wants to do it yourself? They're like, whoo, girl, I don't got that kind of money, right? Give them a book, give them a course. What's a DIY, right? The low price point hanging fruit. Then you got the DFY. That's where my real money is. The people go, girl, I don't have time for all of that. I don't got time to read a book. I want you to do it for me, right? So you got your done for you customer base. They will pay you above and beyond, extra zeros on the end for you to do it for them, right? Then you got the be like you, the folks that look at you, oh, girl, I need to get to your status. I need to be you, Oprah style or Beyonce style. Those people who will pay for your mentorship just to kind of rub elbows and just become whatever version of you they believe that they can be. And then the last one for me, and this is the one that I've been working with for the last few years, is the DWI. Those are the do with you clients. Not only do they want the DIY, but what I've learned is some people lack confidence. They kind of double dutch it. They start it, but they stop it because they're like, I don't think I can finish this by myself. So that, right? So you got to do it with them and provide them with services. If you do that, you do not have to be a serial entrepreneur. You don't got to trick out for trends. You don't have to say, look, I could do your hair. I could do your taxes. I could do your, you don't have to do 15 different jobs, right? You don't got to do 15 different jobs. You just have to focus on these different types of people in your one area of expertise that you've mastered and shine. You'll never be out of work. Never. You'll have the people who will pay you $1 and the people who will pay you $1,000 just in those 4 areas alone.
Yes. It's so true. You know, and I watch how I go, oh, you know, the reason why you have these 5 different businesses is because one didn't work. It didn't get to where you wanted it to. So then you start, you know, you're chasing instead of attracting, right? And instead of being your best, right? You've got all these crazy things away. I love the base and I love understanding who your base is, because once you know that, then you don't have to. Here's what my favorite thing to say is, what you say no to determines what you get to say yes to. And so absolutely. I'd much rather stay in my lane and do what I do. You know, I build foundations. I build it so that, you know, 10 years from now, you can still have the same business in it and you're still eating from it, right? I don't do trends, you know, trick for trends. That's funny. That's really fun. That's really funny. I don't do
because
that.
We see it all the time. You know, you see it. You see folks that they just, one minute they were doing body magic or something else, you know what I'm talking about? And then all of a sudden they're doing something else because it's trending and they think they can easily jump into this different thing and sell. But, you know, it's so funny. I remember doing a video so many years ago on YouTube, and I said, here are 9 things entrepreneurs need to know based on people who have taught me. One of those things was from you, and you said, listen, don't chase the money. Don't chase the money, right? And I mean, I feel like it's one of those tried and true things that regardless of industry, you master your craft, you understand your base, you will never have to chase money. It will always come to you.
Yeah, and it comes when you least expect it. If you trust it, right?
Yes.
You know, so faith and fear, you know, both require you to do the same thing. Believe in something you can't see. They require you to believe in something you can't see. So you can either be faithful or you can be fearful, but they cannot happen at the same time. Right? You know, one is going to be dominant. One of the interviews that I did that's also in the summit is one of the guys was talking about commitment and what are you really committed to? You know, you're committed to something, and sometimes it's to that funky life you got, Right?
Right.
And if you want to do that, I'm good, but I'm out. That's not what
Yeah.
I'm committed to. I'm committed to a better life and to getting to the better place that I want to be in. And, part of that is understanding who your who is, which is how I teach it. Who is your who? Who is it? Who are you also? And who is it that you want to teach, coach, mentor, change? And I love the different acronyms. And do they want to do it with you? Because I do that too. Okay, well, I need to be there. All right. So come to Vegas and we're going to sit in a room and we're going to all do it together, right? And build that low confidence into you. I had a private client who, when things get tough, he jumps to a new business. And I finally said to him, as I said, you realize that every place that you're stopping is what's preventing this business from getting to the $1 million level. Because your new business, you're going to have to do the same thing that you're doing, and you're going to get to this spot again and you're going to stop. It's kind of like, when you have a car that keeps breaking down and you go, oh, I just get a new car. Well, your new car is going to break down too. So
eventually you'll come up against that same problem.
Yes, it's going to break down too. And hopefully it's not when you're still making payments on it that it's breaking down. Right? Because then, they just leave it on the side of the road and keep going and you think it's going to go away, but it doesn't go away. This piece never goes away. So you need to figure it out. And the problem is pushing through it, not going around it, not going under it. It's going, this is the problem. I just got to do it. And that's what gets them to that next level that oh my goodness. Tell me about the last piece. So we got your best, we've got your base, and then the last is
your box.
The box.
Your box.
So what
your
is
box is your toolbox. Okay. Now we all need to have the right tools to get the job done. Right. Yeah. So if I was to say, okay, I got this nail here. I want you to put that nail in the wall. Here's a shoe. Here's a hammer. Obviously, we don't want the shoe. We want the hammer. We want the good tool. But too many, I'm going to just say it, real talk, too many damn entrepreneurs, they trying to just not even bootstrap it because they're doing the least of the least and using a shoe to get that nail in the wall and it's just not working, right? The least of the least. And so if you want to create a business that out of the gates is jump started, you got to have the right tools. You got to have the right tools. One of my favorite acronyms is AIMS, AIMS, am I missing something, right? So in that space, what I want you guys to be able to do is to reflect on, number one, if you got some tools that are working for you, www. I know most of y'all know www is World Wide Webs. For me, it's work what works. At the end of the day, God knows above and beyond any trend that anybody can tell you, if you've got some tried and true tools that you know work for you, work what works, right? One of my clients came to me and she was effectively selling through text messaging and she wanted to know about social media and she wanted to start video and we did that. But I said, don't let my voice diminish your voice. If you know you're making money with them text messages, baby, you better keep texting. Do what you need to do. So make sure that you're building a toolbox that's comprised of the things that you know works, but also you really are consistently taking a look at what's missing, right? One of my favorite tools right now is the sales page tools that I use. The conversion is crazy, but look, I had to transition from, here's the PayPal link, to here is an optimized sales page, right? You got to grow and you have to transition. So whether it be content delivery, customer communication, social media content, what kind of marketing campaigns, what kind of tools are you missing to really jumpstart your business? Now, some of that you know, but some of the stuff you don't know what you don't know. So that's when you need folks like Richelle and you need folks like me to come in and be like, look, boo, here's some of the tools that
you're going the long way. You're walking this 10-mile journey when we could have gotten in the car and got you there.
Come on now, walking like this, eyes wide closed. You just don't know what you don't know sometimes, right? So you start off with a toolbox based on the wwws, the things that you know you work what works, but then you build with qualified people, right? One of my favorite quotes is never let people who have never gotten gotten to where you want to be have the power to discourage you. And a lot of people, they go to their mama, their papa.
Say it again. No, because
never let people who have never gotten where you want to be have the power to discourage you. A lot of us are looking for validation and confirmation from people who didn't start no damn businesses, ain't making no money, working a 9-to-5 and telling you what you need to do. You need to go to qualified people if you want to build a box that's going to help you bring in the kind of revenue and build the kind of customer base that's going to help you create a sustainable business.
Which is true. You know, even how we even connected the first time, it was because I saw the things that you were doing and I wanted to go to qualify. You know, I think that the number one thing that entrepreneurs miss is humility. Like, you know, they've talked about their thing for so long to naysayers that when there is somebody that can give them really what they need, they block it. You know, which is why I don't work with startups. I go, a startup is like working with a girl, their first boyfriend. Ooh, I love him. I'm like, girl, you know, now that I'm a woman of a particular age, that's not how it works. I'm not going to marry you. You know, now my sister married her high school sweetheart, so God bless them. They've been together 30 years, but she is the anomaly, not the norm. She's not the norm. And that's what happens with startups, right? Look, I can show you 3 different ways, but now it's up to you to make the commitment and make the, you know, make the change. And I think that a lot of times they're just not humble. You know, they made their first $15 and, you know, now want to tell everybody. It's like, okay. So, you know, that's why I got out of coaching. It was like, yeah, no. Because, you know, people were comparing me to folks who, you know, sold people into their coaching program, not telling the truth, right? And then was telling them, here, I can only show you what I did. Copy my website. Okay, we ain't on the same level. There's not many people who've sold over $100 million. Not many, you know. Not many women. Not many African-American women. So we're not on the same page. So, you know, no. But it just is that, as you said, making sure that they've got their best, their base, their box, understanding who their who is, not, you know, all money ain't good money. If you chasing money, you will never get there. You will never get there. I don't care, you know, what you're selling. It's not going to be easier. Business is hard. And so people jump around because they think that this business is easier. I'm gonna go online. And I said, well, why? You know, if people have never met me in person, it takes almost 18 months for them to pay me. You know, other than like $5-7. But to write like a big check, it takes about 18 months. And that's of them on my list, getting consistent emails, seeing me, you know, in social media. That's what, seeing all that still takes them almost 1.5 years before they take the plunge, because there's so many messages out there, right?
Right.
If they've seen me in person, within 30 days, they write a check to me. If they see me in person and I got what they want, right? You know, now if it's somebody who...
Superpower.
So why not focus on being live and in person?
Yeah.
Right? That's what I'm supposed to do. So it's not, oh, you know, you found out about me and you liked my page and whatever. I got to get you as quickly as possible to see me live, right? To experience me, to get a hug from me. I said the other day, it's the verification that my hair is real, right? Yeah. Once they confirm that my hair is real, woo, then we can make some money. You know what I'm saying? But it can't. It's always just like that's my favorite new joke this week. So those that are watching have heard it a couple of times now, because it is funny. You have to admit it's funny. So I'm going to say it all the time. So now tell me, you know, I know that you have these 3. So of course you must have a Jumpstart your business box-based thing, right? You must have something that they can get, because once again, you know, I'm like, okay, You talking about it? I'm like the folks on your list. Okay, but what is it? Where do they get it? What is it? Tell me about it.
Absolutely, because at the end of the day, you need some qualified direction, don't you, right? So I do have the Jumpstart Your Business bundle. It's an opportunity for me to really dig into, now that you know what you need, this is how you put it all together. Because the what is one thing, but you're going to still walk blind if you don't know how to put it all together, right? So building out your best offers, working on your customer base, finding out the tools for your box that you don't know you need to know, all of those things inside of the Jumpstart Your Business bundle at SisterSense. And you let me know if you need me to tell them where to go, or you'll tell them where to go, but it's there, it's ready.
They should underneath us have the link so that they can go, because it's hard to write it down.
Perfect.
And they'll say,
Perfect.
you know, for our folks that don't look like us, you know, of course you take all clients, all colors, all.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes.
So that was your superpower at the time. And they'll write sister sense. They won't have it as sister, right? As we have. So we'll make sure that the link is below so that they know the right place to go to.
Perfection. Yes. The Jumpstart Your Business bundle, all about making sure you got your best, you got your box, and you got everything that you need to succeed. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, because you know, even if you're on the right track, right, and you're not moving anywhere, the train will still run you over.
Woo!
Okay.
There you go.
You have to be, you know, somewhere else.
Hey, you. We are so grateful that you are part of MDE Nation. Are you enjoying this episode? Let me know what you think, especially if you have a question. I would love to answer it personally. You can go to richelleshaw.com/podcast to get more information about each episode, or to be reminded of the MDE weekly assignment and so much more. Go to richelleshaw.com/podcast.
So I've been asking everybody to tell me about their favorite client, because I just love to hear you describe who they are. So, and there's probably somebody watching this that says, hopefully she's describing me. So, you know, describe your most favorite client to my listeners and watchers and audience.
Awesome. So, okay, I'm thinking about one of my clients that I spoke to very recently. Love her to death, international. She said to me on not the session we just on my job. She's now doing this full time. And I remember when we started working together and she was trying to figure out, she had no product. Together, we created her first product. She's got her book club now. She just did her own first summit. She's like, oh my God, LaShandra, this is so much work. Did a summit. She's actually got a trip. She's going to Ghana with her business partner. They've got a retreat happening. She's got digital products out of the behind. I call her one of my best because I've had the pleasure of seeing her transition. And here's the deal. At the end of the day, you can find a way, you can find an excuse, but you can't do both. And every time I give her step after step after step, she finds a way. There are too many entrepreneurs out there who find excuse. Well, girl, you know, I can't because, I can't. You know, you have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable if you want to succeed. And when I said, look, okay, I want you to do live streams, she did live. She said, I never done it before, but I'm going to do it. You know, when I said, all right, it's time to put that funnel together. When it's time to do these promotions, she implements. And so I'm proud of her. I am very, very pleased to be on this journey with her. And at the end of the day, it's not about what I say. It's about what she does, right? You know, we can go, it's great to be a part of the journey. It's great to infuse your clients with information. But how many clients do we do that with and they do nothing?
Right. Well, you said it. It's not
they
what
just kind of sit on it.
The real good
is the thing.
Yeah. You know, no, it has to be.
And the feel good.
And the feel good. Yeah. It can't just feel good. It has to do it, you know?
It has to be real good.
It has to be.
And she said, you know, it's funny. She said to me, you know, now she's doing lives like water. She was resistant to it before, but then she got used to it. And she's like, okay, well, I do the lives and then people are in the back end, they're buying my stuff. And I'm like, yeah, you know, you took the time to create the product and you're seeing the momentum, right? You know, too many people, they start at the end. They want to be in front of people. They want to do the lives. They want to have the pretty pictures, but they have nothing to sell, right? And she's like, ooh, I'm working on my vault, LaShandra. I've got all this content. And that's what I'm excited about. You know, when you know that you are never at a loss for something to sell, you're untouchable. That's it.
Untouchable. Untouchable. Oh, I love that. All right. So that leads us to our last question is, what's the one thing those watching can do to crush the end of the year? You know, this is about financial freedom. I think you've constructed like your best way of getting that financial you need to do right now. It can be fine, but you know, what is the one thing that they need to do?
One thing, one word, prepare. Prepare. Get ready for it. We're not there yet, right? You know, Cyber Monday, you know, Black Friday, you know, the new year is coming. Even if you can't finish content to sell for this year, prepare.
Okay, so you said that they need to prepare. So tell me how that works. They need to prepare for what?
You know that by the end of the year, there are sales promotions that happen in October, November, December. Get ready for that. You know that eventually a new year is coming. There's going to be new opportunities, new clients. Get ready for that. Prepare for the sales you want, for the business you want, whether you need to SCF, whether you need things that you have to start by the end of the year, things you need to continue before the year is over, or things you need to finish. SCF, start, continue, finish, prepare. That's all I can say to get clear. Don't worry about anything else, because at the end of the day, what matters most is you making sure you've created the content and the experiences you want people to have in your business. Stop talking and start taking action. Prepare for the end of the year.
I love that. I love it. I love that so much because you practice what you preach. Like the whole thing about, you know, prepare, like she doesn't like start on the computer. She starts in a notebook. So we laugh about like how many notebooks we have. We go, hold on a second, wait. You know, and so we're like, okay, I got it. And so, you know, I love somebody who lives in where I wanted the world to meet my friend. So please help me and, you know, congratulate and clap for and do what you're doing at home while you're watching my friend LaShandra Henry. Yay! Get her Jumpstart Your Business if you would love to have some acronyms that work in your life, because she's the master of them. Inviting that English degree from Columbia, you know, it helps them go to the top university in the world. But it also helps because practice is what she preaches. Doing it for years and years, and our friendship has been there for 10, 12, gosh, ever. I don't know that.
Right?
Well, our kids were little, and now, you know, Devin is 13. And how old is
Christopher's going to be 13 in November.
Yeah. So, I mean, you know, they were little and bugging us.
In diapers. Diapers.
Diapers. We did have diapers because we were laughing about that. Oh my gosh. Well, I love having you as my friend. I hope that everybody watching this has a friend like you. And I am so grateful and gracious.
Right back at you.
For your time. And thanks so much. So tell everybody bye.
Bye.